Hi, I'm 911, it's Gaby, and you're watching Three Lawyers Eating Sandwiches.
Which sounded perfect.
We are back, and we got to count the episodes. This is season 2. I'm going to go with episode
I'm going
10.
12.
You think 12?
I could be totally wrong.
Yeah, I don't know.
It feels like 12, doesn't it, though?
Feels like 100.
What did the fans say?
The fans say...
You mean, what does my mom say?
It's just
she
like
says
the first
12.
Oh, your mom.
I don't even think she's listened to all of it. I think even she's dropped out.
You know, unfortunately,
Yeah.
we were supposed to have a guest, 911, it's Gaby, and I was really, really looking forward to talking to her. So Gaby...
She still may show up.
She still may show, but Gaby, I want you to know, we still want you. No hard feelings, no matter what. Don't be a stranger. We will catch you next time. I really would love to talk to you. I think we all had a lot to ask you about.
You know, here's the thing with her is we'll never be able to believe whatever excuse she gives because literally she's a 911 operator.
She's got a lot of good excuses.
She's heard every possible emergency that could come up. She can draw from any one of those experiences.
And then our second guest didn't show up, Taylor Swift.
She was a long shot.
Well,
Admittedly, she was a long shot.
I'm glad you brought that up because I'm going to do
Whereas
this
it's
every
Gaby had
episode.
confirmed.
I believe that because of her connections to Kansas City and the amount of time she spends there, I believe she knows who we are. I believe that it's even possible she's seen a clip of our show. And I would like you, Taylor, please, big fan, all of us, especially me and my family, just comment.
We're all Swift.
Yes. Yes, meaning yes, I heard you. Yes, I see you. All I want is a Taylor Swift with a little check mark on it saying yes on one of our podcasts.
Crouppen, here, sing a little bit of one of her songs to show what a fan you are.
Oh, I couldn't do that. I wouldn't want to desecrate her music like that.
You know, it's weird. I went to see her in concert with Caroline, but not on this last tour, the previous tour.
That's what
And it was a wonderful concert. She's a great performer, gave it her all. But apparently she's had a lot of music since then. And I don't listen to a lot of the current stuff. So if you were to ask me about a Taylor Swift song, I kind of stop with like Shake It Off. So anything, but anything from before that, you know, like the Love Story,
She's had a lot.
Bad Blood. But anything after, and she's had album after album after album. My nieces listen and they say, "Oh yeah, you're a dinosaur if you're still listening to like Shake It Off."
You know what happened? I think actually the rumors were that she had a new album coming out in a matter of days, and I don't know if today's the day it's supposed to come out. Let me see.
is she still with Travis?
Her and Travis are still together. Yeah. I'm ready for them to get married.
Whatever happened to the new Taylor Swift album? ? Is today the day? ?
I did see that Travis Kelce cut his hair. That's big news out here in Kansas City. I think it was the lead story I was watching on the news last night. And they said he cut his hair.
And if you marry him, do not invite me to the wedding table. By my granddaughter. They would love it and appreciate it more than that. But thank you for the talk.
Let's get some food. Who's got my food?
Yeah, now
I'm ready
let's
to
talk
cut.
about the food because we are featuring a place that I'm sure most people have been to in Kansas City.
You would think, although it's a little higher end, so maybe it's a little too uppity for some.
It's possible. We're doing Jack Stack's barbecue, famous Jack Stack's. And we will do that. You know, we do a lot of places in Kansas City, and we don't do all barbecue. But whenever we do barbecue, it always seems like everybody's been to all of these places. And we did, Joe's.
Huh?
Oh, are we bringing some
Hold
food
on.
in?
Is there something happening? Juju, what's up?
We just had one of our producers.
What happened?
Anything happening? No?
You look stunned.
Bring us food or Gaby, but don't stand there.
Have you seen? You look like you saw a ghost.
I didn't know.
Oh,
I think he was mouthing, "Bring them food."
Yeah, bring them
or
food.
Gaby.
What did Juju? Juju came in here like he doesn't want anything. He doesn't
We
need.
make
I get
clear
it. So
that is his name.
Well, it's
Juju?
not.
Juju.
No, it's not. It's Jewel's.
I said Joel the other night. He goes, "Who's that?" Carrie said that.
Oh,
Well, he knows it is an acceptable nickname.
No,
Now, it looks like this first sandwich,
looks like barbecue to me.
that looks like the poor Russ, which is,
I don't know what it looks like. It's got some ham on it.
It's chopped beef, pork and sausage, burnt ends, and I think we're going to need some sauce.
We're definitely going to want some sauce.
Now, the
Everybody
burnt
does.
ends were invented, or I should say popularized, discovered here in Kansas City. Not at Jack Stack's. I think Arthur Bryant's gets credit for it. Is that your understanding, Andy? That they
I
take
don't know
credit?
the
I don't know
history
if
of
they
burnt
get
ends.
credit for it or take credit for it. In the food world, there's a fine line between taking credit and getting credit. There's a lot of
there were
places
things that
taking
were
credit.
independently invented too.
But, Jack Stack's, I've been there many times.
Give me
in
that other
person,
plate. What are you
and
doing? Don't mess with
For
my
me, what
plates.
makes them, where they stand out to me against the other barbecue places are their sides. I think the Jack Stack sides are the best sides of any of the
It's also a bit more upscale than, I'm going to get some barbecue sauce on the plates as well. I feel like Jack Stack's also a little more upscale for a barbecue place in general.
They are. I would say the same about Q39, a little bit more upscale, and they
Yeah.
also have
Although
upscale sides.
It's a little more upscale Q39, but I think Jack Stack's is still. I feel like Q39 is like upscale for a lunch place. Jack Stack's is like upscale for a dinner place.
Okay.
We're not real dressy up guys.
Brown and Home,
Brown and Home. No, I think
Brown and Homan.
We're definitely casual guys.
I think so. Well, down to earth.
Yeah.
We're not
Regular
fancy
people.
folk.
Still got.
Every
Oh
time
my
one
God,
of
that
them
book.
walks by, I feel like they're going to say, "Oh, it's Gaby. 911. It's Gaby is here."
I mean, if she tells you an emergency came up, you almost have to take her word for that. That's her whole job.
There was a cat stuck in a tree.
Well, I did go on her social media.
She posts a lot.
She does. And of course, the one question everybody asks every 911 operator is what's
We pass the napkins,
what's
please.
the worst call you've ever got?
Huh?
It's the question they hate getting, but it's the question they know they're going to always get. So she actually had a video on there where she's like, I hate answering it, but everybody wants to know, so I'll answer it. Which that alone I like. I like a person who'll take one for the team. She's coming right out and saying, I'm tired of answering this. I don't want to answer it, but I will answer it. I'm not going to tell you what her answer is because she might still get it.
Do we have any silverware?
Yeah, I saw it. There was a
But part of the other thing about her I wanted to ask her is I saw her post something that and basically the caption was a non-influencer dating an influencer. She being the non-influencer. And the influencer that she was dating has fewer followers than she does. And now he is like sort of a hype beast kind of guy.
A what?
Hype beast.
Yeah, I think there's a difference between a
Like-
content creator and an
Like
influencer.
a lot of like brand names, flashy kind of clothing, brand names and sneakers.
Because she's not pushing product. And I think a lot of people use influencer as I'm pushing product. She's a content creator. She's a bigger following, but she's not really pushing product.
Yeah, but I don't know that you have to.
No.
I think, is
What
she
she-
influencing people? Maybe.
I guess
I
that's a
don't know.
good question. What does it technically mean to be an influencer?
And Gaby, if you'd come talk to us, we could get an answer to these questions.
Yeah. Well, let's assume she's not coming. I know we had a lot of other
Maybe
topics
we'll
we
just
want to
talk.
get into.
We'll just have a whole episode about her, speculating.
What was her real name?
What do you think her favorite food is?
What do you think?
I suspect Gabby's real name is Gaby. Probably. She looks too young. She may think Oswald is a character on that 70s show.
I think we're reaching that point. I wonder. That's an interesting question.
She's my age. She wasn't even alive in that setup.
Because obviously it's an
Wow.
obsession of yours, Terry, and Andy and I are still old enough to where we grew up with everybody theorizing and about the Kennedy assassination, but have enough generations now gone by to where it's just not a thing anymore. Remember years ago, the question in our office came up: do the younger people know who Pete Rose is? Now this was 20 years ago. And shockingly, they did not. And then about a year ago, you switched to Bob Hope and you started asking anybody under the age of 40 if they had ever heard of Bob Hope. And of course, for people our age and of course, people your age, this was, he was the number one star in the world. So of course we know him.
He is so good.
Are you still on the first one, that chopped up meat sandwich?
Yeah, that's
delicious.
very,
Great
very
sandwich.
good.
So, and you start asking about Bob Hope, and people under 40 do not know him. Many of them have never even heard of him. So my question is this. Has the discussion of like a Kennedy assassination, has it just gone, by?
It's
And
kind of like
nobody cares
World War
anymore.
One stuff.
Yeah.
It's like ancient history to the point where it's not culturally relevant.
Yeah, has that happened? And is that sad if that's happened, or is that a good thing that we've moved on?
Well, is the assassination of a president always relevant? Maybe not. Look at Lincoln. I don't think that's like...
Well, remember, Lincoln, we knew exactly what happened. It was the witnesses, they captured him eventually.
Right, but it's so old that, like, you don't think about it in terms of... I don't want to say it's not a big deal, because obviously a man was killed. It's a big deal. But it was so long ago. I don't know. I think Kennedy is getting to be ancient history.
Well, ask yourself this. Why does nobody care about the assassination of William McKinley,
That's right.
which is far more recent
Nobody even knows.
than Lincoln? And quite frankly, most people, and I think the guy's first name was Leon or Leo, but I don't even remember his last name. And I'm not even sure I'm getting his first name right. But I can tell you, historically, it was far more politically motivated and far more impactful with everything that happened after that. It changed the entire face of our economy after the assassination of William McKinley, and yet nobody learns about it, nobody talks about it.
He wasn't
Nothing.
much of a president in terms of, like, his place in history other than dying.
Well, but actually, though, that's not true. That's what most people think. But if you were into, like, questions of the economy, it was a huge deal. Because he was in
His
favor,
death or his
his
or his
policies, he was very much in favor of monopolies. So guys like Rockefeller and Carnegie and J.P. Morgan and all these guys, they all were very much in favor of McKinley because they all had monopolies, one in gasoline and one in steel and one in electricity, and they did not want it broken up. So much so, strangely enough, this is actually an interesting story. The senator or governor out of New York at the time, Teddy Roosevelt, was making a lot of noise about breaking up the monopolies. And he had some influence and some power. And he was young, very young. And they said, what are we going to do with this guy? How are we going to neutralize his power? And somebody came up with the idea, what if when McKinley runs for re-election, because he was not McKinley's vice president during McKinley's first term, they said, when he runs for re-election, what if we put this young kid, Teddy Roosevelt, in that vice president's chair? It'll sound impressive, but he really has no power, and he can't do anything to break up the monopolies. And they liked it, and they did it. So they stick in this anti-monopoly vice president in Teddy Roosevelt, thinking they don't have to worry about it because McKinley is so in their pocket, it's not an issue. And then within a couple of months of his second term, McKinley gets assassinated by somebody who was doing it specifically for economic reasons. And all of a sudden, Teddy Roosevelt becomes the youngest president in U.S. history. He was only 42 years old, which was considerably younger than Kennedy was. Youngest president in history, and with that, all of the monopolies wind up getting broken up with the passage of the Taft-Hartley Act.
When he was elected, 43, 44?
Obama is turning 64 next Monday. So you can work the math backwards. 17 years ago, he was 47, which was just a little older than Kennedy was. Kennedy was 46, but Teddy Roosevelt was 42. But don't you see, like, that's an interesting story, how that all played out. And yet, even amongst educated people, nobody talks about William McKinley.
Huh.
But now we've changed.
Okay, hold on. Breaking news.
That thought it was for tomorrow. I'm on my way.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Is that because you guys have those dates wrong?
No.
Are you sure? Because I saw
No.
incorrect dates.
Can we erase a lot of the earlier part?
No, it was. I double checked the emails. Everything was.
The correct dates?
was correct.
Okay.
Hey, listen, no problem.
You know what?
Can we get a sandwich?
Do you think Do you think we should?
Everyone makes mistakes.
Should we pause just our conversation and wait for her, and just knowing she's coming and not lose anything good?
I think so.
Can we do that, Stephen? Is that a problem? Just to pause?
Yeah, we can pause.
Here, I gave you a
Get the legs pumped.
I gave you a burp right in the mic to use like a clapper.
20 minutes later.
We're getting right into it. What's your Uber rating?
My Uber rating?
Yeah, we've been having,
We've been arguing with each other about our Uber ratings because Terry's is technically a smidgen better than mine.
yeah.
But mine is low because of him. He
And
ruined
I
my
like to
rating
take
through poor
personal
behavior.
responsibility.
I don't like to use my Uber account unless it's just me going because I don't like to risk other people messing my rating up. And I feel like they will, and I take it very seriously.
And I
Wait,
throw,
do you really?
I do. Well, it makes a big difference. If you don't have a very high Uber rating, they won't always pick you up. They get very picky about who they're going to select. And if they see a rating that's not high,
Wait, but
you might not get the good cars.
You were only saying because you hypothesized that I said something.
Well, it was more than a hypothesis. And here you decide because you're fresh to the scene here.
Yeah, you.
I had a perfect 5.0 prior to a particular trip that we were on. This going back near the beginning. Then on one trip, I pull all the Ubers for these guys. It was in 2016.
Okay.
I'm ordering it all for one business trip.
Okay.
After that business trip, my Uber rating drops from a 5 down to like a 4.7 something. And I've been fighting ever since then. I've got it back up to a 4.89, but I can't seem to get it past that. I'm still suffering the damage.
Mathematically, if that was from 2016
Yep.
and you had one bad rating, you had so
I don't know
few
that it was one
ratings
bad. It was
then.
no. Remember, it wasn't one bad. It wasn't like he. Listen,
know-
if he had one bad trip, I would have excused him. It was on a trip, and every
It was-
Uber on
yeah,
that
every
trip,
Uber you were late or
you
something.
ordered. Well, just that we've been here since yesterday, and I've taken 8 Ubers so far. They add up fast.
But I think
I never two Ubers by myself.
we can look.
I know. I wish you had.
We can look at
That was the problem. If you take
find the
them by
date of that
yourself,
trip, and we can find out what the ratings were on that trip.
I don't think you can.
They absolutely can.
Can you?
You can. Now,
Ed likes to
I
No. Not people. One person, and only for one thing.
be careful. But she'll start blaming you.
that's right.
I'm not going to
Now, let
blame
me
you
say
for
this.
anything. I'm not a blamer. But some people
He's a
won't
little
take
bit of a blamer.
accountability.
Oh, he's terrible.
Like the guy with the lowest Uber rating in the room.
It's amazing how it's always the people that won't take accountability that want to say somebody else is a blamer.
Yeah. Now,
Gosh, well, you can
all
blame
of
me for
that
being
said,
late.
Oh no, that's no big deal.
4.91, 500. I just took my 500th Uber.
Congratulations.
wow.
Thank you.
Well, 500 that you've ordered, but you're also one.
Oh, yeah, I've taken way more.
Driving with
because
other
my wife
people.
takes a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. But 500 Ubers that I've ordered today with a rating of 4.91. And I've been sabotaged a few times.
And wouldn't you say Uber's changed the business, obviously, but it's so much so.
You act like
I feel like, well, because I was never calling taxis. Like if you traveled for business and we were like, let's say we were down in
Probably
Florida,
rented a car.
like, yeah, we would have rented a car,
Yeah.
right? We went to call 25 taxis. No, we've changed our entire habits. So Uber hasn't just affected the taxi industry; it's affected the car rental industry. I never rent a
Of
car
course,
anymore.
of course.
So what does that have?
Well,
You know,
I just want to keep you out of those industries
one
so
more-
that people will continue to rent me cars
One
and
more
drive
thing
me
about
around.
Uber, and then let's get to Gaby.
Yeah.
I was talking to my wife not long ago about tipping in Uber. She said, "What? You tip in Ubers?" And she had no idea. Because remember when Uber first started, that was like their thing. You don't tip. And I thought she was crazy. I gave her a hard time. And I call a friend of mine who is not the kind of guy to not tip. And he was like, "You tip in Ubers?" I guess a lot of people who are on it from the early days.
That's a ridiculous excuse.
I agree because
It pops
there's a
up every
notification
single
every single
time.
Maybe they just think nobody does it. I tip every single time and handsomely.
How
that
much
is
do you-
shocking.
How much
Yeah.
do you tip in max?
It
Maximum.
depends.
Yeah,
No,
always
sometimes
tip the max.
I tip more than the maximum. Sometimes, like if the person like gave me extra help for the luggage or waited for a while, or I gave an Uber driver $100 cash once
Why was that?
because it was.
It's good to see her getting out
I
of
was
the
gonna
house.
have to give her the money one way or the
Wait,
other.
was it actually your mom?
No.
Oh.
No, when
The just go with it mentality of
Can't get hurt.
when my
His mouth.
when our youngest daughter was born 3 years ago, we had two other daughters, and you know, do you have kids? Okay, so what happens when people have kids? The first one, you're hyper conscious. You're going to the hospital way ahead of time. The second one, you're kind of playing it fast and loose. The third,
He delivered his
half the
bath.
people have them in at home because they just don't go to the hospital. Anyway, we never considered the fact, you get this due date and you're thinking, what could possibly happen to make this baby come before the due date? And 2 weeks before the due date, we're sitting around and my wife's water breaks and we weren't prepared. We didn't have anybody to come over and it was like late at night. And so we're like, oh, okay. So we call an Uber because we had 2 other young kids at the time. And it's this poor young kid. And we come out. I'm like, hey, she's having a baby. He's like nervous as is. I'm like, here's $100. Walk her up. Get her into the labor and delivery room while I wait for the person who we finally got in touch with to come over to the house. Because it was like late at night, like midnight. And he did. And he was very sweet about it. And he walked her up.
Yeah, I mean, I totally get why that happened, but just in broad strokes, all I heard was your pregnant wife's water broke and you put her in an Uber.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly what happened. Hey, I could have made her walk. There's a hospital very close.
I mean, when you
to
give
our
it the
house.
full context, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Context is so important.
Yeah.
Now, you've probably heard crazier stories in your career.
A little bit, yeah.
Well, we should let people know because you are a 911 dispatcher.
Yeah.
How did you get into that?
Honestly, it started from need. I moved over here from college. So I went to college in Idaho and I wanted to be more self-sufficient, more independent.
Oh, wait.
So,
We're in Idaho.
Rexburg.
Oh,
Okay.
What did she say? What state?
In Idaho?
Oh,
Don't say it.
oh, can't do it? Can we do it on the thing?
There's like a joke. Yeah, we'll do it after the podcast. Are you from Idaho?
No, I'm from California.
Where?
Yeah. Apple Valley. So it's like the high desert.
What took you to Idaho?
College. I went, toured it with my friend. I liked it. So I just went there. And then
University, yeah.
Brigham Young University.
Oh, BYU.
Yeah.
Are you Mormon?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So-
I would think almost everyone
Yeah,
is.
everybody there is. So yeah, I went over there and I was like 22 years old. My parents were paying for my rent, for everything. And I was like, I need to be more self-sufficient. Like I'm 22 years old. I need to be more independent. And so I moved over here where my aunt and uncle are and they're like entrepreneurs. And so I'm like, I could learn a thing or two from them. And then they taught me a lot really quick. And I got into dispatching. And then I was like, okay, well, I got my first condo and then I got my car. And then I just slowly went up with dispatching.
Where did you get the idea to take your experiences as a dispatcher and turn it into what's really becoming an online empire? I mean, if I like 121,000 Instagram followers, and I don't know what other platforms you've got people on too. That's a big number. When did the inspiration strike? How did that happen?
Like to go on social media?
Yeah.
I was just bored one day. Because I work the night shift and sometimes it's like really chaotic and other times it's like really boring. Like there's not much to do, especially in the cold time. And so I made a video, just a simple video of like my keyboard and me taking eye drops, me wearing my glasses, me typing. Like I just made a super simple like 8-second video. And I just said, come to work with me as a 911 dispatcher. And my previous videos only got like 200 views or something. And this one got like 8,000 views. I was like, oh, wow, I don't want to get in trouble. So I went to my HR. I was like, hey, could I make videos like, about my job? She's like, yeah, as long as you don't give addresses, names, or anything like personal information. I said, okay. And so I started making it and people started liking it like really rapidly. And then more people started making their own videos and things like that. So that's
Well, it's compelling content.
It is.
Yeah.
And I mean, now there's a whole TV show, right? That's
Is it a light? Do you
911.
watch 911?
No, but my coworkers do.
Oh,
But I
do
don't
they
watch
think
it.
it's accurate?
Some of them do, and some of them are like, okay, that's over dramatized, or like they're way too calm than what would actually happen in a dispatch center. So
Is it the kind of thing where 80% of the calls you get are somewhat mundane and then like 10-20% your heart's beating and
Yeah.
you're like, oh my God.
for sure.
Like,
yeah.
do you ever have any calls where there's like, I mean, I'll make up a situation just like there's an intruder in the house and you're talking to the person and kind of guiding them through what to do. Like, are there intense situations like that you're sort of an active part of help keeping them safe?
I would say yes. We don't get much of those, but when we do, it
Because
is
you're not in
like,
St. Louis.
oh yeah, probably. But I think that yes, we do get some of those, but I would say the majority of it, it's like domestic violence calls, calls, like things like that. And so those like happen really quickly, and it's more like the aftermath that you have to deal with rather than like the during.
What do they train you to do when somebody's calling for something that clearly is not an emergency and not 911 appropriate? Because you hear these stories, and I don't know how common it is. You hear people complaining because their pizza didn't get there on time. Does that really happen? Or are those anomalies? So what do you do with those?
So we have to kind of, well, first, a lot of people don't know that there's like an emergency line. Everybody just thinks that it's just 911 and that's it. So they call 911 for non-emergency. So they usually start off as like, this is an emergency, but I'm like, hey, we have a 911 or an emergency or a non-emergency line. People don't know that. But during those calls, we just have to say, like, the first thing we have to ask is, are you having like a medical emergency? Are you having like, are you scared for your life? Or is your life in danger? Things like that. There was one person who called because their AC wasn't working. And so we're like, oh, like, did it blow up? Is it on fire? Like, what's the issue? Like, are you in danger?
They're like,
No.
it's hot as a mug.
Yeah, they're like, it's hot. And like the AC person won't answer their phone because it's late at night. And so like, so I called 911 because I need it fixed now. Like, it's hot. And like, that's not like an emergency. It's not a life-threatening emergency. So we just have to say like, hey, we're not able to assist with that. Is there anything else that we can help with that is a danger to your life? And they're like, no, but I need this fixed. We're like, okay, we're going to have to hang up the phone.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of how we let it go.
What
Yeah,
about
although I can kind of understand why a person might think, because, you know, we are in extreme heat. So you're 100 degrees.
I
You may have a
guess-
senior citizen
But it
there.
could be an emergent. Like
It could be.
that could be if you're 90 years old, you're on a third floor walk up, and
Yeah.
your son left and usually is there. Yes, that could be an emergency. It sounds like this one wasn't. Okay, so I've probably called 911 more than anyone in this room, and I want to ask you. Is it appropriate? So I'll give you a circumstance because I look at it as an emergency. So, for instance, I'm driving down the highway and there'll be a mattress in the middle of the road and people are like swerving around to avoid it. And so it seems like there could be a real accident very quickly. And it seems like it's something that needs to be taken care of immediately. In a situation like that, I will call 911, report it, tell them where it is so that it can be addressed quickly. Appropriate or inappropriate?
Yeah, very appropriate.
It is.
Yeah, because it's a traffic
Oh, I
hazard.
feel so vindicated.
No, yeah. I mean, I think that, like, we usually just say, like, if in doubt, like, just still call because you don't know how many situations, like, people are like, no, I don't want to bother 911. This isn't worth it. And then it escalates to something bigger.
Oh, I don't ever
Do they
feel like I'm a
have?
bother.
But do they have? Well, let me ask. That's a good question. Do they have adequate backups? My biggest worry would be that I'm calling 911 and I'm going to block the line for something that's a much bigger emergency, and then they won't get an answer. Or do they have backups?
Yeah, so we do have, like, backup, like, people to answer the
Yeah,
call.
I don't want to block the line with something that
No,
if a
for
bigger
sure.
emergency comes around.
With some bear.
Yeah, that's very good thinking. Thank you. Because not a lot of people think like that. But yeah, so actually we do have adequate staffing and we make sure, like, we kind of see our call volumes and we make sure that we have adequate staffing in order for people to get the assistance that they need as quickly as possible. For example, like what just happened with the KCK deputy. So that was like close to my area. And so we were getting calls like crazy.
Yeah.
And in that moment, we didn't have adequate staffing. So we had to call in people like, hey, this is an emergency. We need people to come in, even if it's their day off or even if they're off already. Like, they let us know, hey, like, this is an emergency. And this is something that, like, you go into the job knowing that you'll have to go through those situations. So
Can you guys teach the city of St. Louis how to do that?
Oh God, yes, we have a real problem. We have a real problem. Yeah, we have a real
It's
problem.
really
Well, let me ask you, well, functionally, what are you doing when somebody calls in and let's say there is a domestic dispute and you've got to alert the police? What's happening on your end? Is it breaking? Like, can you see exactly where they are, even if they don't give you their address? Is there a GPS system? And how do you know who to contact to get the right person there the fastest? Like, practically what's happening?
So in the situation of like a domestic violence and like the victim is calling, then we would, if she does not tell us or cannot tell us where she is, then we would ping their phone. And it's like a process. It's not a long process, but thank you. But you have to call their server, like you have to like search the phone, call their server. Hey, where's the location for this
okay. So
person?
you can get the location of a cell phone.
can.
But how quickly can you get it? Because that sounds like a
1 minute or 5 minutes.
It's so it's like I would say more like 5 minutes. It doesn't take super long, but it feels long.
Oh, well, in an
That's for
emergency,
sure.
5 minutes can make all the difference in the world.
Kind of piggybacking off of what he was asking. Number one, first, what is this sandwich?
What do
It's really
what do
good.
they have it labeled? Can you make out?
Very good. I love
Well,
it.
Is
give
there
it to you.
sausage on there?
I don't know if it's sausage sliced kind of thinly. This is the
What
stack.
do you like on your?
Yeah, this is the stack.
Okay.
That part of your interview is done now. We don't care about 911.
Let's see what we've got
We thank you very
here.
much.
Well,
And do you see if you can guess where I'm going to go? Piggybacking off of his.
let me just let people know that this is the stack. It's smoked sausage, beef brisket, pepper jack cheese, onion ring, honey chipotle barbecue sauce.
Because I know this is an issue with 911, and I saw you mention this on one of your Instagram posts. Is the and tell me if this is one of those, like, is this a real thing that's actually happening, or is this a fear that hasn't really happened, but people are worried about it? Criminals using AI to report hundreds of false crimes all over the city, and then they go commit a crime over here where they know the cops aren't.
Well, that's why so Batman can't go find out what happened.
Right. Is that actually occurring, or is that more theoretical at this point?
I've heard it's not confirmed, but I heard that it is happening in some areas. It hasn't happened in our area, fortunately, but
Makes sense.
But I do see that people are starting to have protocols if that does end up happening. So, and our systems are, I mean, as I imagine, like they're expensive to be able to like filter out those AI or whatever it is. So,
You ever get those? Like, does somehow the robocalls get to you? Hey, are you Medicare eligible?
yes.
Really? At
Yeah, we get
911?
mhm. Yeah, we do.
Now they
That's
should
crazy.
be criminally prosecuted.
They absolutely should.
They, you know, that is not an appropriate use of
Yeah.
911. Now,
Guys, do you think people remember that we're not just guys eating sandwiches, but we're actually a law firm that handles injury cases?
You think the podcast has gotten so big, they forgot about our roots?
Have they forgotten about this man, 45 years on the television, telling people that we don't get paid unless you get paid? Do you think they know that?
Tell them.
We don't get paid if you don't get paid.
There you go. You've been hurt? Call us. Now back to the podcast.
Now, I know that there are certain questions that you get asked all the time, and we want to be respectful because, you know, these are people's emergencies. Well, let's start on the silly side of things because I think we have a lot in common in that as a law firm, we also take a lot of phone calls of people, and most of them have very legitimate situations and very legitimate questions. We get our fair share of what I would call silly calls just because people don't know when they have a right to something, when they don't. And you get some fact patterns that are pretty out there.
I remember I got a call from a woman because some guy stole her buggy at the supermarket, her shopping cart, and she was furious and wanted us to do something about it. So I'm sure you get
Wait a
stuff.
second. They call you guys for that?
They
People
do,
call
yeah,
us
well,
for
because they want to
everything.
sue. I have a famous one where somebody went to use eye drops to put in their eye, but instead of grabbing eye drops, they grabbed the little thing of crazy glue, which was in a container that looked a lot like eye drops. And they put the glue in their own eye, and they want to make the case. And you know, you want to be. Listen, I mean, you can understand that little part of them that says, "Why are they putting glue in something that looks like an eyedropper?" We all know that. And then another person might say, "Why is a person putting glue in a medicine cabinet?"
That's true. Good
And
point.
so I can understand why they'd want to call, but again, looking at just the headline, you want to ask them, "Why are you putting crazy glue in your eyes?" So my point is, we've heard some silly calls, but I can
we probably
imagine.
talked to some of the same people.
Yeah, I can't imagine it's
It
anywhere
sounds
near
similar.
what you get to. So what do you get?
Yeah,
Let's hear
some of
some.
the craziest.
I mean, there's somebody asked us if we can go pick up a phone from, they're like, hey, like somebody lost their phone. It's in the middle of the street. And we're like, okay. They're like, so can the police come and get it? I'm like, why? Like, I don't know. Like, just like pick up the phone. I'm like, why can't you get the phone from the middle of the street? Like, I don't know. It doesn't really matter.
Do you
What
have
else?
repeat callers, like people who call you all the time?
There's people that call about usually I don't want to say this, but like usually they have like mental illness. So
makes
they have
sense.
like schizophrenia, and so one will usually, there's a particular one that like will usually get out of the mental hospital and then immediately call us. They'll be like, I want to talk to this doctor, and we're like, well, we don't know who that doctor is. Like, so we try to like, you know,
You want to be
okay,
kind, but you also
yeah.
want to keep the lines open for legit emergency.
Yeah, so at that point, we're just like, okay, we're gonna have to hang up the phone. And there was somebody who was calling us like hours at a time because they were like, you work for me. I'm a citizen, and I pay your checks and things like that, like through taxes.
Oh boy.
So there's just like things like that, like just like silly things. The AC one.
You do work for us.
Got a point. I mean, he's a taxpayer.
Yeah, I find that. Isn't that just the silliest thing?
You ever get reports of UFO? Like people calling and reporting?
We're very UFO sensitive.
Not all of us.
Really?
I couldn't care less.
No, I think mainly like 4th of July, like, and we're like, oh, maybe it's the fireworks. And they're like, no, I know what fireworks look like, and that wasn't a firework. And so it's just like things like that. Like they just swear that they know, and we're like, okay, like we'll send somebody over. Ends up being what we thought.
What's your connection to Wisconsin? I saw you wearing a Wisconsin shirt.
I just like the shirt.
Oh, okay, I
didn't
thought
have a
maybe you went to
connection.
Madison, but then you said BYU.
No, yeah. Yeah.
Now BYU, we've had several coworkers who went to BYU, and I'm always amazed at how I don't know if strict is the right word or strict for lack of a better word, but
No, it is.
like if you go in, they were telling me, you can't walk on the grass. You walk on the paths, or you're in trouble. But he said also, if he didn't show, well, this is what I think it was Eli maybe. But they also said that if you go into class for a test and you're not clean shaven, you're not taking the test.
That is a real thing. So they have people with like beard cards. You have to like apply for a beard card because like if your skin is sensitive or something, then they give you the beard card. Like it's okay that he has a beard because of his sensitive skin or something like that. But that is a real thing. The whole
I
like
think all the Mormon prophets had beard.
Yeah,
yeah.
they had to. Shaving was
Sensitive
not
skin, I guess.
I guess I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's like the grooming standards, but I do see like your point, and that is true. It is very strict with their
And you know what?
standards.
Everyone I have, they're kind of like. So we kind of have a running joke a little bit that if someone applies for a job at Brown and Crouppen and they have Eagle Scout on their resume, they're getting the job.
Really?
And I think I would
There's a strong
probably
connection.
yeah, but and I
a lot
would
of
think
Mormons are in the
Yes.
scouting.
Yes.
well, but also BYU graduate because. My wife has worked for a couple of Mormon companies in Utah. And one thing that I have found, especially the people who went to BYU and really had that formal sort of education, is it is a unbelievably hardworking, like the graduates from BYU are very entrepreneurial, very hardworking, very ethical. There is, and probably a lot of them are Eagle Scouts too. So I would almost add BYU graduate to Eagle Scout as automatic hires at Brown and Crouppen.
I mean, we've had Brock Sema, Lane
Yeah.
Matthews, Eli Roberts, and am I missing one? We've had quite a lineage of
And
Mormon attorneys.
and they're all
that
great.
went to,
Anyway.
BYU. Yeah.
Do you like BYU? You had a great time there.
I did.
It's a
I
great
did. But
school,
I'm also
right?
like a goody two shoes. So like
Yeah.
the people that are like curious and like kind of want to go out there and like they don't enjoy it. Oh, I'm so.
No, didn't want you to eat. Yeah, I think it was your own, but I just still didn't want you to eat it.
But I'm like a goody two shoes, so that's like more my like realm. So I enjoyed it.
You had a good time there.
So, I mean, it's a fun job, and you get a lot of stories out of it. But now you've turned it into a social media sort of an empire. So, what do you do with that now? Does that mean that you're this is you now? You got to really commit to this. You're very young still, and when you got into it, you probably weren't thinking this is what I'm going to do with my whole career.
No.
But now you've charted a path that pretty much puts you here. So, what do you do now?
Gosh, I wanted to give up at one point. I don't know if you guys saw, but I went under investigation. So
Somebody was investigating you?
Yes.
For
so
what?
my speculation and a lot of my coworkers' speculation is there's this one see this. But there's this one
I
coworker.
think there's little chance.
Yeah.
There's this one coworker that I did have, and he got upset at me for not just petty stuff.
Uh-huh.
And so he knew about my social media. Everybody knew about my social media though. However, the dispatch manager and the HR person and my supervisor, everybody that like approved it, the two main people, which is the HR and the manager, they were no longer working there. However, all my supervisors knew and my sergeants knew, so everything was cool, everything was good. But then we had a captain over us, and I call him the main captain, but he's cool. But anyways, one day he pulled me into the office and he was like, hey, come here. And I'd never get in trouble. And so my supervisor, he was in the room with me. He's like, what did you do now, Gaby? Like joking, because he knows I don't get in trouble. And so I was like, I don't know, we're about to find out. And we're just like joking. And then the meeting captain is like, so I've heard of some social media that you have. And I was like, yeah. And then he was like, okay, so I'm going to need your badge and you're on paid admin leave. And I was like, what? And so he was like, you're currently under investigation. We're going to let you know when you could come back. And I was like, I was taking it as everything you say will be used against you type of thing.
Yeah.
So I didn't say a word and I was just like shocked. And so he escorts me out and I was like, what just happened? And he takes my police dispatch badge and I leave and I'm just like bawling, crying. And
Then you realized it was April 1st.
no, I wish. Anyways, he said that they got a report, which I feel like it was from inside because this person that like got mad at me like was already being investigated himself, and so he was also telling like other coworkers like your job is mine. I have things against you. I have things against you, and stuff like that. There's like one big hint that led me to believe that it was him. But anyways. I was only on admin leave for 1 day, and then they told me, hey, you did a really good job at hiding everything. You didn't give out personal info. And I was like, well, yeah, I spoke to HR. I spoke to my supervisor. I spoke to my manager. They told me that everything was good. So I don't know why I'm getting investigated. I don't know why I'm getting in trouble. And then he's like, okay, you're good. You just can't record inside of the dispatch center anymore, but you could still record outside and you can record about the calls and things like that. But after that point, I didn't want to record anymore. I didn't want to make any content because I just felt like scared. I didn't want to get in trouble. I didn't want to get written up. I didn't want anything to happen to me. So I was just like, it's not worth like losing my job. But anyways, then I was like, no, but I liked it. I like the community. I love seeing that there's other dispatchers and like their support. And it really did like help other people like become aware that this is actually a job. Like maybe some people don't want to be police officers, but they want to be like dispatchers or like behind the scenes. So
Are you technically a police officer?
No.
You're not, okay.
No, I don't think I would do that. But
Is it
You have a band.
yeah, like dispatch badge.
Once they got it back, yeah, because they took something from it.
How long ago was that?
It's like right out of the
It's
movies.
like, yeah.
I'll take your badge.
Right,
You're gonna need to leave your badge.
You got your, we said. you have-
My badge. Oh, it's just like a little like
I had a band one.
it's not like a metal badge. It's just like a
It's a
card.
badge.
Oh, okay.
It counts.
Like a card swipe.
I mean, it's not as cool as a tin star, but
Wish.
So,
we can get you one.
and that was a while ago?
Make a
That
nice
was in
badge.
February, and then they.
Okay.
So I was like really nervous, but then they like came back, and then they asked me like to be a trainer. So I was like, okay, like I'm not that bad. So
Yeah.
that was-
And is there a like is being an Instagrammer who works in a 911 call center, is it a thing? Like, are there a bunch of 911 call center people all throughout the country?
Yes, I'm starting to see a lot of it, which is really cool to kind of just see that. I remember when I first started, there was just like 3 of us that were doing it, and we would like communicate with each other. But now,
Oh, that's cool.
There's like a lot more.
Well, it's kind of like a true crime show in little bite-sized pieces,
Yeah.
little because there's a little mystery. And sometimes it's funny.
Are you
Yeah,
on the
oh
true
yeah, the
crime
TV
shows?
show's a big
A
hit.
little bit, yeah.
Okay.
This scares me, but yeah, because I can like hear the real.
Right, that's what I was going to say. I could see.
So
Now, let me ask you this, because you do see this in movie, and you referenced it a little bit. Sometimes people call, and because of the circumstance they're in, they can't give you the information that you need. So, how do you know? How can you tell that they know the information, but there's obviously something going on there, and they just can't voice it? Or they might be pretending to be ordering a pizza. I see that all the
Yeah.
time. Now maybe
Is
that's
that
just in the
real?
movies.
that is real. Yeah.
So talk about
is
that.
real.
Give us a situation.
So, there's a situation. Okay, so, like for example, when somebody calls 911, but then we answer and they don't say anything, and then they hang up. Like that's like one side. So we always have to call back, but it's always scary in those situations because you don't know if like somebody's entrapped or like
Yeah.
you don't want the phone to ring and then like the intruder find them or something like that. But usually they call, we'll call them or they call us, whatever it is. And if they don't answer, like when in doubt, always send an officer, always send an officer, always send an officer. And so I think you could tell by people's voice. Like some people sound like more confident or they talk faster, they talk louder, they talk like slow, whatever it is. But like you can tell like people's speaking patterns, whether it's normal to them or not. And so if they're like, oh, like it's okay, like everything's okay. That was an accident. Like you could tell, okay, no.
Yeah.
We're going to send an officer over there, you know? But I don't know. I think just like
Do
talking.
you ever
to
like
people-
ask the questions like, are you unable to talk to us right now because there's somebody there?
Yeah.
And then they usually will be like, yeah, that's right. You know, and then okay, now I know what we're dealing with here.
Yeah. So
That's very scary.
it is. And so it's like, I don't know, like you'll say, like, say red, we're going to say red for yes and white for no. Like things like that. Or like say pepperoni for yes or say cheese for
So that happens.
Yeah, that stuff is real. So, and it's scary. So.
I mean, I don't want to, there are a lot of perverse questions that you hate the fact that you want to ask them. But if you're being true and you're being honest and you're thinking about the audience, and the audience, there obviously is a perverse curiosity that goes along with it. So, in that vein, and you don't have to answer things, and I hate that, I don't want to exploit, because these are people's tragedies. But we can't get around the fact that we do have a morbid curiosity. Talk about some situations that went wrong. Do you have anything where a person didn't make it through a situation? Do you ever follow up to find out what happened to the people that you send out ambulances for? Or does that curiosity go away?
I think in the beginning it doesn't go away. You just think of all your calls and you remember all your calls.
Is it haunting a little bit?
A little bit, yeah. It kind of, it's sad to say, but it kind of like desensitizes you because that's the only way that you could kind of like
Makes you better at the job, though.
Yeah.
That's a tough thing, though, right? Because you have, in order to do it well, you almost have to give up a little bit of your humanity to be a better human in those situations.
Yeah. And that's so real. I think that sometimes you kind of just, and I know for me in the beginning, it made me lose so much hope in humanity because it's like, wow, like how could people be so evil? Like, how could they be
So give us an example. It's something that for our perverse listeners that
like,
want details on something.
like my worst call.
It doesn't have to be your worst.
You said it, not us.
I know that's like
It doesn't have to be your worst, but maybe something that
Do you have-
just took a negative turn.
One stands out as the worst.
Yeah. That
Okay, well,
probably-
You mind sharing?
You probably could share that one. You
Yeah, I
probably
can
told
share
them many
it.
times.
Yeah.
Not for us, yeah.
In
No,
the
no.
beginning, yeah, it was
You
hard
know
to tell, but
you know
now
how it is.
it's okay.
Yeah.
So, and it was during shift change, so I didn't even get the initial call, but I go into work and they're dealing with the situation. They're like, hey, officers are on scene for this situation. I said, okay, like we'll figure out what it is, whatever. I clock in and there was this woman who, I won't disclose like areas or anything like that, or obviously, but she walks into this building and she said, she doesn't like say anything. She doesn't do anything. She just like sits there by herself with her friend, sister, whatever it is. And she's pregnant. We can see on camera that she's pregnant. And so we're like, okay.
Would she face them?
No, so we had cameras for this specific area.
Oh,
So we can see her when we went back to look at the footage. We see that she's pregnant, and then she goes into the bathroom. She's in the bathroom for about 2 hours. And then then her sister, her friend goes inside. I believe it was her sister, goes inside, and then she like goes outside. So she keeps going like in and out, back and forth. And all of a sudden the lady comes out and she's not pregnant anymore. So I'm like, okay. But while she's kind of doing that back and forth, there's these three men that come inside of the building, and they're just like, the sister goes, talks to those men, and then they like disperse as if they don't know each other. But like the men are like watching them. So we're like, okay. Anyways, finally the men leave, or the women leave, and then the men like follow. And so
Like, are you watching this on the camera in real time?
No, so we're
This
watching like
afterwards.
that.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I'm like, okay. And then all of a sudden, hours later, we see somebody go into the bathroom, that same bathroom that the woman was in, and then they come out with a bunch of toilet paper, like wet toilet paper. And they call the police and they tell us like, hey, like we found a baby in the bathroom, like, and it's just, deceased. We're like, what? And so then we figure out that it was the lady. And when they did the autopsy, they found out that the baby, it was drowned. It had toilet water inside of its lungs. And so the woman gave birth inside of the bathroom and, cut her own umbilical cord, everything, drowned the baby, and then just left it. So what we were speculating, and so what we were speculating was that she was part of like human trafficking. And anyways, we ended up finding the woman, and the worst, it was a neighboring agency's case because it happened in their area, but we got the call for it. But they ended up saying that during the autopsy, and I don't know who like classifies this, but they said, you know what, we can't charge her for murder because we can't prove that the baby drowned while she was giving birth because she had no help, or if she really drowned it herself. And so I'm like, but like you left the baby. You
Yeah.
didn't ask for help. You didn't call 911. You didn't like, but they were like, no, we can't classify it as a murder because we don't know and nobody was there. So for me, like that's just such an injustice. And just to end up finding out that she did the same thing in another state.
You're
like
kidding.
the same thing. Yeah. And so I was
That's
just like,
wild.
oh, so it's just like those things are so frustrating. Like, why can't we do anything about that?
Yeah.
So that's just like really frustrating. But that was like the hardest call, I would say, for me.
Especially when this person has done it before. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So sad.
No, yeah, it's super sad.
It's like you say, morbidly fascinating, this sort of underbelly of society where things like that occur probably somewhat regularly somewhere in the world or in the States. And you just don't hear about it because, you know, a lot of things are in rural areas or they go unreported.
Yes.
Oh, Ed's pushing for a sandwich.
Well,
That story made him hungry.
No, I more like Steven gave me a signal like, guys, how about some
You want
sandwiches?
some potato salad?
Yes,
Very
I
compelling.
do.
Where's Apple Valley?
Apple Valley, it's like the desert part of California.
Like central?
No, southern.
Oh, it's
Oh, by Big Bear. Do you know where Big Bear
Yeah,
is?
yeah.
Okay, so it's like over there by the mountains, by the desert.
Has
how
anybody?
far from Big Bear?
I would say like less than 30 minutes.
Oh, so did you grow up like? Did you ever ski at Big Bear?
I didn't ski, but I
No.
did go through like the little donuts, like the little tubing.
Uh-huh.
I do that. So
Okay, so near Big Bear.
Let's talk about successful pranks. And the first thing is, one of the things you do here, and I wonder how true it is.
This is just
Is-
straight turkey,
If
dog.
people prank 911, they're going to jail.
yeah.
Is that true?
They could get charged for abuse of emergency services.
Does it have to be pretty bad, egregious for them to really do anything?
I don't think I've ever gotten a call like that, like
Really?
where it's like bad like that.
I'm surprised teenagers aren't doing that. Maybe everyone has in this society at least still has the tiniest amount of respect, at least for 911.
No, I don't believe anybody's got respect for anything.
I think
I do.
They just haven't got it.
That's right. It's just not enough numbers. There you go.
So this is the McCoy, which we chose, I guess, straight turkey.
Now,
And you can't go wrong with that, because who doesn't like turkey? I mean, it's
The,
universally beloved.
here, grab that sandwich.
Thank you.
Now I got a question for you.
Mhm.
I saw on one of your videos you called yourself, I believe, if I'm understanding it, a non-influencer dating an influencer.
Yeah.
And then I noticed you've got more followers than this influencer. So number one, I'll ask before we even go any further. Are you still dating this
Yes.
person? Okay. So it's not like it's a bad subject. You don't even
No,
want
no,
to talk
no.
about it.
We can
Okay.
talk about it.
Why is he an influencer and you're not? I mean, I get it.
No, yeah. So I started that like segment in my old account when I was not like an influencer,
Got
when
it.
I didn't have any followers or anything like that. So at the time, like he was the influencer and I was not. And so on Instagram, on TikTok, he still has more than me, but
Well,
He's
who
been-
is he? What is he?
That's TikTok.
Well, what is he influencing? Who is he? Maybe we should have him on.
yeah, you should. He's awesome. But he does. So he used to do shoe content and
What content?
shoes, like
Sneakers.
tennis shoes. Yeah, sneakers.
Oh.
So he used to do that, and then now he does like.
You know, like those Travis Scotts you're wearing.
But now he does like celebrity, like or yeah, like I don't know, like lawsuits with Nike or like what is it? StockX. Yeah, things like that. Like he's
Dude,
yeah. So he got into like the cases of shoes, and then now he's like moving into like pop culture drama sort of thing.
Was he
Moved
into
on.
was the Diddy trial?
No, he didn't. He doesn't
Okay.
do that because he doesn't like to do like controversial topics.
Okay.
I will like dip into that, and it gets a lot of hate. But I mean, it gets you.
My brother was a very big TikToker
Really?
in the Diddy trial. He was like flying to New York and like
wow.
going into the courtroom.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool.
And he got a lot of hate. Did at one point, allegedly.
no one knows that.
Why?
I don't want to acknowledge.
Don't want to acknowledge what?
Never mind. Go ahead.
Allegedly, Diddy sent a couple people to his house to intimidate him.
Oh, really?
And he recorded it and put it out, and then some other influencers said, "Oh my God, those are the exact two same guys who came to my house." It was crazy.
I saw, because I was at the time I was keeping up with the specific one that would document it every day. Maybe you know which one I'm talking about, but she did mention those things as well, and so I'm like, oh my gosh, like I don't know, that's really crazy.
Wait, which one are you? Who's the woman you're following?
Rotten Mango.
Is she like
Stephanie Sue?
Is she black, kind of young?
She's a
Okay, because there
Asian
was
woman?
one woman who kind of went after my brother.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was following with Rotten Mango with Stephanie Sue, and
Okay.
so I was keeping up with
Can
her.
I ask you?
Did you ever see any Secret Service Sam content? No,
I did not.
Yeah, Sam.
What define an influencer? What makes you an influencer?
I think that people seem to gravitate towards like his opinions. So when people, I guess they trust when he says like, "Oh, this is like the best shoe," people are like, "Okay, I want that shoe now." So I think like just somebody who like seems to get people to not do stuff, but like he just influences their opinions.
I think the only way to consider yourself an influencer is having a lot of followers, because what else is the measure of influence? Like if you have 25 followers, clearly nobody cares what you have to say, really. And it doesn't matter what you're talking about. You are influencing people about you're influencing people about something, their opinion on, crime or whatever it is.
Is it a self?
I think it's almost
title?
not self-awarded. I think it's a metric.
What I mean is there a?
I think it's more of a
you have
metric.
So many. What is the number? I'm just curious how it works.
I think
Oh.
what micro influencer would be like. That would be a macro influencer, I believe, like over 100,000, and then under 100,000 is like a micro influencer.
I think you gotta
But like,
have.
I truly don't consider myself like an influencer, because I don't do that like for a living or anything. Like, I consider myself like a police dispatcher, and I make police dispatch content. But my boyfriend, he does that for a living, and that's like his whole everything.
Yeah, and does he earn commissions on it?
Yeah.
See, I think that's what makes you an influencer. If you can make money by when your opinion shapes other people's opinions and you can monetize that, you're an influencer. Now, how good of an influencer you are, I would say, is either a measure of the number of followers you have or the degree of sales you make. Because you might only have a small amount of followers, but if it's a high dollar area and you can move whatever it is you're looking to move, you've had influence.
But you're getting checks from Instagram, aren't you?
Yeah, but they're not like as big as people would think.
Right.
So,
But if you're making money as a content creator, I think you would fall under the umbrella of influencer. You just haven't really leaned into it yet to push a particular product.
yeah, no.
Right now you're just, sharing stories and ideas. But at some point,
But
that's the thing is you're building an audience. And you made me nervous earlier. Well, when this guy comes in and just wants to take her badge, like in his mind, he's just protecting this little dispatch center. But, you now have an asset that you've earned through your efforts of 121,000 Instagram followers. And now that they have bought into you and have developed some trust in you, perhaps, there's an opportunity there to figure out, what do I do with this now? I've accumulated this audience. I have them now. I can share whatever I want to with them, and I have an audience. I've built myself a platform. What thought have you given to, how are you going to protect that, and what are you going to do with it?
That's such a good question.
Is that like kind of something that goes through your head?
It only comes through my head with Chance, that's my boyfriend, so because of him. But I think in my own regard, I'm more like traditional, like get your education, work your job, 401k, save your money. But like I'm just more traditional. And so for me, and I know we have to make risks in order to get like greater success and things like that, like the greater reward. But I think I just like playing it safe. And so I'm like, I just can't like let go of my job and do like influencing like full time.
But that's the beauty of it. You are playing it safe because you have the audience and you're making the content, but you also have this job, so you don't have to. Does Chance ever try to get you to move some sneakers on your?
No, not sneakers, but he tells me to kind of like maximize my creativity with what I
What kind of
have.
sneakers do you wear?
And that's what I'm thinking. Let me tell you now. You know this. You get the calls. I know that I get a lot. There is a lot of stuff being sold out there for emergency preparedness.
Yeah.
And I get them in my feeds constantly. And it just seems to me that the credibility you have as a 911 dispatcher, you can look at some of the most common things that you're called for. Let's say, for example, I don't know if it's coming up in your feed, but these anti-choking devices that allow you to put something over somebody's mouth and basically...
I've got some.
Yeah, and it just pulls out whatever you're choking on, particularly if you live alone. It just seems to me like, for example, you would be in a good position to know if this is a common occurrence. A lot of people choking in their home, or people choking in their home and not having anybody to help them. There do seem to be products that are very directly aligned that you could, in good conscience, bring to people's attention.
A fire ladder, fire extinguisher.
The Prepared Hero fire blanket.
You are leaving money on the
It just seems like those are things that
you're going to walk out of here rich.
Listen, I just think that there are areas of when it...
some papers.
That's right.
There have to be people out there helping to organize and manage the careers of influencers.
Let me ask you a question. Why is the Instagram the key platform for...
Depends on what you're doing.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I don't know, actually.
You've not monetized it, so you probably will.
Well, for
Yeah, but you know what, though?
monetizing, YouTube's where the money's
Right,
at.
but
Yeah,
also, but the
YouTube is where the
TikTok
money's
shop
at.
is already selling a lot of
That's
those
true.
products, and right out of the gate, you could be earning commissions on those products if you're
TikTok is rough. TikTok is the least lucrative. I think
feel
so.
like-
in terms of what they don't cut you in for very much.
For me, so TikTok is where I do make the most, and then
Really?
So it's TikTok, Facebook, then Instagram.
How many
So-
TikTok followers do you have?
Wait, what?
How many TikTok followers?
Actually, less. I have 100.
Yeah.
And you make more on TikTok with the same number of followers?
Yeah.
Real? Why?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know. I have no clue.
That's really strange.
Oh, actually, I do know why. Because I get paid for my videos on TikTok, not for pictures, but like nobody really goes on TikTok for pictures.
I didn't know you could do pictures.
Yeah. And then Instagram, I don't get paid for my for my videos. I get paid for pictures, but I don't really post pictures.
Right.
So,
Why can't you get paid for your videos?
I don't know.
That's the whole thing's a racket and so mysterious. That's the problem with all of it is you are, I mean, in some ways it's nice because you don't have a boss. You work for yourself.
Yeah.
However, you have this entity that, you know, like there's a guy named Steve Will Do It, who's a big YouTuber, one of the biggest. And he's been doing this for years, makes a fortune. And then all of a sudden one day, no strikes, YouTube just says, bye-bye, you're done.
Oh, wow.
And this was his whole life that he'd spent building this. And that's the problem. You don't have a boss, but you kind of have a big boss who can take it all away. And
You have work sample.
yeah.
Because you can't, this guy's in a bunker in Nevada. So you can't find him.
No, the worst thing is a lot of it's just all AI. You can't even get a real person.
We know somebody that has like over 500,000 TikTok viewers, and he can't, and they have cut him down to 0 on his stuff.
No way.
Who did?
So
I'll
serious.
tell you
guy.
off there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sort of demonetized him, but yeah, it's hard. But it sounds like you've been able to make it work a little bit. Yeah, safety.
What drives you? I mean, what's the motivation behind it? It doesn't seem like it's money.
No, it really is just the community. I think that in the beginning, and I really sympathize, one of those.
Yeah.
But with the people that are training, like
Guys,
the new
empathize.
people, empathize. Thank you. But yeah, I remember that I had a really hard time when I first started dispatching, and so I just think of I remember being feeling so dumb or inadequate. And so when I started making the videos, I remember getting a lot of comments of oh my gosh, I want to do this, or oh, I'm in training, but I feel so dumb. I feel so slow. I feel like I can't do this. And I'm like, no, I'm such a slow learner. And if I was able to do it, then you can't, I promise you that you can too. And it's such a rewarding job. Once you already go through it. And so that's really my drive. I just feel so bad for the people that and maybe it just goes more into other things, just feeling deeply. And so I just feel really deeply for the people that feel that way, whether you're trying to be a dispatcher or just a human, period. And that's why I love this job.
I feel like Andy kind of hit it on the nose earlier. I didn't really think about this before, but it does seem like a really good opportunity for somebody who wants to be a first responder and be a part of helping to solve people's emergencies, but maybe is not comfortable being around blood or around an actual harrowing scene.
Yeah.
But they still have an instinct to want to help because it allows you to have a little bit of distance, and yet you're playing a vital I mean, because really, the first responder is the 911 operator. It's not that person's the
Oh,
second responder.
you have saved lives without question, and I'm sure more than you could count. Right?
Do you ever think about that you're really the first responder and everybody else is second?
I know that's like a big discussion in like the dispatch world, because a lot of people tell us like, you're not first responders, like it's EMS that is, it's the police that, you guys aren't first responders.
How do you think they get
You
there?
know what? Let me tell you something.
Like-
And listen, I don't want to sell something if it's not true, but it seems to me that when anything happens, even in arguments and discussions that people have every day, when people are in that initial raw emotional state, that's the most challenging.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
people calm down and they can
Yeah.
speak from a more intellectual place. But I'm guessing most 911 calls, you're getting people talking from an emotional state and not an intellectual state.
Sure.
To me, that's the far more complicated
Yeah.
response. You
Yeah.
find yourself having to diffuse
Oh yeah.
just the emotions of a situation. How do you do that?
Yeah. I think first your tone, it does make a huge difference, like your tone. So if somebody's like, he's hitting me, like if I'm like, oh my gosh, like, okay, wait, where are you? Like if I'm sounding
Right.
scared, then they're gonna be like, oh shoot, if the person that I'm asking for help is not even confident or like in helping me, then like why would I be? So like you always have to speak in like a low tone. You have to like reassure them, okay, but first like one thing at a time. Like you just kind of have to like unravel their brain, like, hey, like let's like diffuse. And so a lot of the time we don't always have to send officers to the scene because we have to de-escalate them, and they teach us to de-escalate, or at least de-escalate to the point to when the officer does get there, it's not as chaotic or crazy.
I've seen situations too where a 911 operator, at least again, my experience is TV, but sometimes they have to talk a person through some basic first aid instructions, even CPR in some instances.
Do you have
Have
that
you ever had to
training?
do that?
No, not me, because we're just police, so we don't do EMS or fire, like fire
Okay.
But
department.
the person calls
yeah.
911. What do they do if they have a medical emergency? They don't know to call a different number. They're calling you.
Yeah, so we either transfer them, or like if they're actually going, because we're not certified to like help them through a medical emergency, but if they are going through it, then I'll tell my partner like, hey, could you call EMS? I'm gonna try to like de-escalate
Got
this
it.
person and see what's going on, and then I'll put in the system where we all share and we can see like our notes, and then they'll tell the EMS operator.
Are you
like,
calm? Have you always been sort of a calm, cool, collected? No. So you this
the-
took some
oh,
practice.
Yeah, in the beginning, I remember, oh my gosh, I was such a stress ball. And so I remember I'm like, oh, I can't do it. But I would have to like just push through it. And now like through those chaotic situations, you just learn to like put your feelings to the side and just put like their safety first and like go through the protocol first. And then after, like I'll go to the massage room, or I'll be like, hey, I need a second. And
Whoa, massage room.
Massage?
yeah, like a little
They got to
massage.
keep these guys. They
There's
got
there's
right?
a masseuse on staff?
No, like a massage chair.
Oh, okay,
Sorry,
okay.
but yeah. So we
Yeah,
have
we
like a
have one,
Zen
yeah.
room is what it's
Do-
called.
Is there a lot of burnout on the job? Like, are there any people who've been there for 10, 20 years?
Yeah. In other words, as they're in the
Are there like
process
NFL
of
running
right,
backs,
they,
like 2
they
years max?
desensitize themselves to do the job, but they do it to the point that they truly become insensitive, which I guess would not be good.
Yeah. And in that, I always encourage like people that have been doing this job and they're like burnt out, or like they don't, I don't know. It's so important to take care of yourself, because then like how could you help other people?
Right.
So, and that's just like number one thing. And some people like, I think like because you're like looked upon as the hero, or mostly police officers are looked upon as the hero, if they feel weak or they feel like, oh, I need help, then like that's just like a taboo thing. Like you don't ask for help because you're supposed to be the hero.
Right.
And so they look down on that, which is not a good thing like
Right.
to go through.
You
but-
would think after your training,
Mhm.
there's no way to really train for the actual job.
Yes, that's so true.
Because you can hear recorded things, but you got no skin in the game.
Mhm.
I would think when you get that first day on the job, I wonder how many people just walk. I mean, do people walk away? You know, that they can't take it?
There must be
Yeah.
people who
Oh,
like
for sure.
like second call. They're like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, it usually happens during training is when they like weed out all the people that like can't take it, and that's okay because dispatching isn't for
Oh, yeah.
everybody. And like it also triggers like, let's say like I went through like, I don't know.
Trauma.
Yeah, like some sort of trauma, and then I get a call about the exact trauma that I
Uh-huh.
previously had, like that would be hard. And so I
Yeah.
understand like where people need to walk away, like
Yeah.
for their own mental well-being.
Well, we see that in our job too. You know, when we pick a jury, one of the earliest things you do with the jury pool You try to eliminate anybody who's gone through any kind of experience similar to that themselves, because you just can't account for how that's going to impact how they view a case, and you just neither side really wants to take that chance.
Yeah.
You know, are they going to relate to the victim and be overly generous, or is this going to become so emotionally charged for them that they just lose their ability to be impartial?
So, let's step aside from your main job. What are your hobbies? What do you do when you're not doing this? I thought I saw in your story. Were you in like a dance studio or something?
No, it's just the gym. So that's
Okay.
like where you just like stretch and stuff.
Got it.
But yeah,
Okay.
I like to go to the gym. I like to go on walks. I like to paint. I like to read. I like to go to museums. Things like that. Like just very calming things.
Yeah.
And I learned that because of the job. Like have to learn to be like calm. So
And is your boyfriend here in Kansas City?
yeah, he is.
Okay.
He is.
And he's a local. Does he have a sneaker shop or anything?
No, he doesn't have a sneaker shop, but I mean his office is like might as well be a sneaker shop. He has
Really?
so many shoes. Yeah.
He just like sells them online and stuff.
Well, sometimes, but he doesn't like sell shoes. He more just like talks
Collects?
about. Yeah, like collects. So, yeah.
Huh. Have you, totally switching gears, this is something I've been meaning to bring up all day. Have you noticed, this drives me crazy. If you have your cell phone light on, people will run across the highway risking their life. So, hey, your cell phone light's on. People are insane about telling you your stupid cell phone light's on, or like it's in your pocket and it's shining through your pocket. You ever get any calls like that?
Not calls, but yeah, I've definitely seen
Have you
those
noticed
people.
that?
No,
Why are
yeah.
people so crazy about telling people their cell phone lights on? It
people
drives
their
me nuts.
phones.
I just keep my cell phone light on all the
I'm so
time.
sorry. Since you switched gears, I want to ask you just really quick.
Yeah.
Are you buying a Rolex? Is that a submarine?
No, it's they call it the Batman.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got it for a little while. They
It's a
just called
GMT,
the Rolex. A lot of them
Is that
have
the one I gave you?
no.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could tell by the two
Because-
colors.
No, oh my God.
Which, if
You're
it's the
gonna get me
Batman or
robbed,
the
all of
Pepsi or
you.
the Coke or the root beer.
Looking at it, and I'm like,
The blue and black color, it's like Batman. There's like a green and black one they call it Starbucks. They
That's
have a
okay.
bunch of
I don't want to talk to you about Batman.
why?
Because you are bad.
Because, yeah.
No. Well, no,
Sorry.
you know what? They also have a black and gray one that they call the Bruce Wayne.
That's cool.
Yeah, I got that on my other. No, I'm joking.
no, I saw it, and I was like, oh, I need to ask.
What is that? What is on your other arm? What is that?
Whoop. There it is. That's a Whoop. It's like a fitness tracker kind of thing. I just got it the other day, and that's why I'm also wearing an Aura ring. I can't get rid of the Aura
Wait,
ring.
how can you see? Is it?
Oh, there's no screen. It's all on your. But it's actually kind of cool. The reason I got it, supposedly, it monitors your blood pressure. There's an EKG on it.
That's wonderful. Let me ask you this
Um,
now, because you said you're still wearing the Aura ring. Have you compared the numbers that the Aura
I
ring
haven't
gives you
yet.
to the thing?
Because-
Well, then why still wear the Aura? I thought
Because
maybe
I
you were
literally,
Yeah.
it is like the second day I've had this, and I haven't even really had a chance to figure out the app. And a lot of the functions are not available on any of these
So wait,
devices.
it doesn't display anything?
Nothing. But a lot of the functions are not available on any of these trackers until it like picks up and kind of reads a lot of data and does some analysis. So like you can't get any.
So it's getting
real-
baselines.
That's
now or
right.
something.
So for like the first week or so,
Shows
you don't
the
really
data
get a
on
lot
that,
of,
which is incredible.
of information.
No.
That's right. Have you ever seen that website where you can plug in like and it'll ask a bunch of questions and
then
it'll tell you how many fifth graders it takes to beat you up?
What? No, I haven't seen
I'm
that.
guessing it would just take a handful.
You know, I'm thinking,
You know.
Yeah.
Well, it's
with
part
your
of the,
interest in the Rolex,
yeah.
we ought to go back to the conversation about monetizing
That's right.
your followers. We could have this in a few months.
What you need is an agent. They should have. There must
So-
be
There
agents that
must be.
handle.
We've been
Or-
trying to find that.
You just pivot into watches. Do you ever watch there are these watch mostly watch sellers on 47th Street in the Diamond
I've seen
District
that.
in New York.
Uh-huh.
There's this guy Vukum
Yeah.
and Moses the Jeweler, and it's
Oh, yeah,
fascinating.
my boyfriend's friends with him.
Yeah.
Your boyfriend knows Moses?
Yeah.
Really?
He does, yeah.
I love that guy. And Benny.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
The next
guys,
time I'm
but-
in New York, I'm going to go to 47th Street. I feel like but it's actually, I mean, it's interesting because I think the Diamond District is sort of getting this new life because they have all these young influencers who are kind of flipping watch. But it's, I don't know if your boyfriend doesn't really sell them, he just collects and talks. But a lot in the sneaker world, it is about flipping and buying these kind of like super desirable.
Yeah, that's what I talked to him about because I'm super like what's the word frugal. Yeah, I'm very like that. I feel. And he loves Rolex and he loves designer and Chanel. He loves all these things.
So he's a hype beast.
Yes, he is. And so I'm like, oh gosh, I don't know about these things, but it just comes with it. Like you have to you have like the designer shoes or whatever. So it's like,
yeah, you may have to dump this guy eventually. It sounds like he's a very expensive guy to have around, you know.
But it sounds ambitious.
Yeah, but he's got you in Jordan 4s.
Yeah, he does. He's helped me a lot with my social media. So he's the reason why I really maximized on what I have now, like with social media, because I was too scared to, and I was like, no, I don't want to, like I can't do it, like I'm not. He's like, no, you can, and he made me a plan. And since I followed that plan, that's when I really blew up.
Maybe he can make us a plan.
He could if you pay him. He's all about business.
Well, pay him. We should have him on sometime.
You should. I'll talk
bet
to
he's.
him.
I'm sure people like that, like the sneaker world.
Yeah.
They have a lot of crazy stories and interesting things.
No, he does. I think you guys would get along, but he's done less podcasts than me, which is really interesting because he's been doing this for since 2019. I want to say. I just started like last year.
But you're good. I mean, you're good
last
at
year.
it.
I mean, you edit your own content. I mean, you're very talented with the stuff. I mean, I don't know if you had a chance to watch our stuff. They're not just straight videos. They're really well put together, edited pieces.
But your delivery, and I remember years ago there was a guy who we all knew who you didn't know well, just kind of an acquaintance, and the most lively personality, huge personality. Oh, hey, how you doing? And so we're like, oh my God, this guy's going to be great in a commercial. And we get him on camera and it's,
oh no,
he froze.
Bone. I mean, a lot of people just, well, I don't want to call him.
You actually,
you don't know who it was. But a
right.
lot of people have a very difficult time it seems like you're yourself, but being yourself on camera and coming across as yourself is very, very difficult for a lot of people.
It is. And to this point, you have one of those speaking voices on your videos that really works like for true crime. Absolutely. If you haven't seen like the way that they give you like a creepy storyteller, but in a good way. But like who knows how to set up a little suspense in their voice, like a Keith Morrison type.
Creepy and
well, they all are. It's like the Dateline guy is creepy, but in a good way.
It's seen the looks.
That's him. I mean, you're a storyteller who understands how to build a suspense in it and does it through that soothing voice that the good podcasters have. I'm just saying, I think we can do things with this.
I'm not telling you to quit your job. But I do think
this week.
No, but
you're not gonna with our schedule. You're not gonna.
But it does seem like you have what it takes, and I'm sure there are a lot of people who are never able to, capitalize on it. But it does seem like you have a natural talent for this,
Thank you.
and there is something that you could build a career out of. At least I'm sure there's some luck element to it as well.
Give me a contract, will you?
Anyway,
what do you think of the food? Have you been to Jack Stack's before?
Wait, this is from Jack Stack?
Yeah.
Really? I haven't tried these sandwiches before, but it is really good. I like the turkey one though.
Yeah, the turkey was good.
It was all
the
very
bread, the bread on the turkey sandwich. I guess it was the same bread they had. The bread makes such a difference on these things. But
so figure the bread on the sandwich.
I know, but but selecting the right one for this type of meat, it's not a.
Give me your favorite restaurants in Kansas City, whether it's casual, nice. Give me the
non-barbecues, but we've heard all the
bites,
barbecue
best bites of food in Kansas City.
Gosh,
some of your favorites.
Well, I love Lula's. I really like Lula's Southern Cookhouse.
Okay,
I think it's just like really vibey, really nice.
Somebody just told me they went there. It's great.
Well,
okay.
But you can't get in.
Really?
That's what. If it's the same.
I'll call them for you. Like, hey.
Hey, Lula, it's Gaby. You want your 911 call answered on time?
Right, yeah.
Get my friends in.
Hey, guys, can you get me in a good dermatologist?
Oh, gosh, I need one too, so.
What else? So Lula's?
Eddie V's has been my favorite so
on the
far.
plaza? Good desserts.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's
very good desserts.
They're
a chain, I think, technically.
Yeah,
You'll find those in other cities.
Yeah.
They're really good. What else? McLean's. I mean, but I think that's
McLean's Bakery. Yeah,
I like it.
Delicious. I did a breakfast thing there. Normally, I don't. They know I don't like. I'm not a ham and cheese guy. But you know, when you have to film things, you eat what they give you. And they had one of these ham and cheese like pastries. I gotta tell you, it was one of the best things I've ever eaten in my life. And that was the first place that ever served me oat milk. First place that ever even offered it. Now everybody's got oat milk. It's old.
We're drowning in oat milk.
Number one. Really good place.
Are you a coffee drinker?
Not anymore, but I used to be.
Really?
Yeah.
Why'd you get off it?
I know. Just because I wanted to be more devoted to my faith, and also because when I was working,
that's against the Mormon faith.
yeah, we don't drink coffee.
Although, isn't there? But and you know, I think there are people approach every religion differently. But as I recall, in one of the companies my wife worked in, nobody drank coffee, but everyone drank energy drinks, right? Isn't there some?
Yeah,
that's okay.
Well,
What is the
caffeine?
reason?
Is it a stimulant?
It's a good question. I really don't even know like the answer to it, but
Listen, I would know a lot of stuff.
Is there much of a Mormon population here in Kansas City?
there's a good amount actually.
I think
Yeah.
there's a lot of Mormons. We have a big tabernacle.
In the book, Mormon, I guess. How far back does that go, time wise? Like when Brigham Young and the people that came after him, during what period did they
I
live?
think that's about the 1850s.
Yeah, it was something like
It was
that.
recent. I mean, we're talking last
Yeah,
couple
it's not
Didn't you ever
biblical.
read what
It
was the
was
book,
brought
the John
about
Krakauer
like
book?
what 1820s. I think it was like the 1820s when the
Yeah.
book was brought about. But the stories in the book are supposed to be. Okay. So like what happened in Jerusalem, like during that time, there was things that were being documented in the. This is our belief, but like in the Book of Mormon, it's things that were happening that were being documented in the Americas. So it's like it happened at the same time as like everything that was going on, like with Jesus Christ over in Jerusalem and everything. But there was also people in the Americas that were documenting as well. So that's like our belief that it just like happened at the same time, but it's a different document.
What's your thought? Because we have some good friends who are Mormon in Las Vegas, and there's nothing he finds funnier than the play The Book of Mormon.
Oh, I've never watched it.
Really?
Yeah, really.
And at first I was like, I wasn't sure when I first talked to him about it, if he found it very offensive, and it was exactly the opposite. And what I realized is it's like the show Seinfeld for Jews. There's a lot of subtleties and nuances that I think everybody thinks it's funny, but I think being Jewish, you pick up on things that are maybe things that others
inside jokes.
Yeah, inside jokes. And he said in the Book of Mormon, there's so much of it. There's like a whole nother level that if you're not Mormon, you would never pick up on any of it.
And he found it.
He's seen it like 17 times.
The Book of Mormon really is not anti-Mormon at all. If anything, not to say it's pro-Mormon.
You don't mean the actual book.
No. I'm talking the Book of Mormon.
Yeah, just wanted to make sure.
Thank you.
In the musical, The Book of Mormon, it's not really anti-Mormon. What it does is it's mocking the idea that you have people of other sects of the religion that are mocking kind of the silly things that are in the Mormon thing, and without appreciating that there's just as much silly stuff in their own religion. Like the same type of stuff goes on in all of them, and ultimately you can't always tell the difference between something that somebody's made up and something that's actually in the official book. But it basically levels all of it and says, you really can't mock the Mormons unless you're prepared to mock yourself, because all of these religions sort of have a little bit of silliness built into them. I say silliness, I mean like you got to stretch.
I get what you're saying.
You got to stretch a little bit to believe it. Now in the play, they suggested that Jackson County, Missouri, is of a historical significance to people who are Mormons. Do you want to share what that is?
So I know they have Carthage Jail, which is where Joseph Smith, which is the one that
he's the one that finds the gold plate.
Or like that founded the church, like for lack of better terms or words. But yeah, he ended up dying in Carthage Jail. So that is here. I mean,
but he found something in Missouri, right?
I think they in the play, and again, the play is a comedy, but I think that they make the suggestion that the belief that the Garden of Eden may have been located in Jackson County, Missouri. That's the claim in the play.
Did you do a mission?
I did do a mission.
Where'd you go?
I did. So first I went to Mexico City and then I went to Texas, to Lubbock, Texas.
Is that
Lubbock.
usual?
You know who comes from Lubbock is Steve Martin and Buddy Holly.
Steve Martin is from Lubbock?
Yeah, they're
Is
both from
Kyle
Lubbock.
from Lubbock?
Yeah, Buddy Holly and
I
Steve
think so.
Martin,
Yeah.
I believe, both
Is
Lubbock,
that-
Texas.
Is that uncommon to have a like 2-part mission for people not to stay in the same place?
During COVID, it was common.
Oh.
Yeah. So like a lot of people couldn't like travel to their original destination.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Now you don't get to choose your destination, right?
no.
So would you have been prepared to go anywhere that they were going to
You
send
have to be.
Yeah.
Wow.
You don't have a choice, right?
No, you have a
I mean,
choice.
you could say
Leave the
like
religion.
no at the end. You could say
what I
no if
would've
you don't
done.
want to go, but
I don't
yeah,
know
at the
where I
end,
don't
like
want to go.
Was Mexico City awesome?
yeah, I loved it. Well, my dad lives over there, so
Oh.
yeah, so I grew up there for a little bit.
Wait, so just coincidentally,
Yeah.
you got assigned to a place where your father
Yeah,
lived?
yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah.
cool.
So, but my
Do you speak
parents-
Spanish?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Was there? Did you have a wish choice that you were hoping
Yeah,
to get assigned
it
to?
was Mexico.
Really? So
Yeah.
you got your wish?
Yeah, I did.
Jeez. Well. I mean, not that it wasn't a good wish. It
That's
sounds like you had a
awesome.
nice time. But if you knew you were going to have a wish come true, you might have gone bigger.
Yeah,
You know?
probably.
And it was nice to bring Jesus into the conversation.
Yeah, why not? Listen,
There you go.
but in a respectful way.
Yeah.
This is a sincere curiosity. This is
Thank
not.
you. Don't worry, I don't feel attacked.
No, you
You're
shouldn't.
good.
I think it's a great opportunity to
Yeah,
ask questions
awesome.
that.
Do we have one more question?
Yeah.
Oh, is that
Did
right?
you really just try it?
We just tried dirty soda. We did it on the show. So talk about that. Why is that?
What?
Why is that more popular with say Mormons?
our-
than
Maybe it
other
was
people?
invented in Utah.
Well, I think I'm not sure. I want to say it was, but because since we don't drink like coffee or alcohol or things like that,
You can't drink caffeinated soda, I guess.
Right.
I don't know. I know when I was like younger, that was like a thing, but I guess it's not anymore.
Huh.
I don't know. I should know more, so I apologize.
We all
There's a lot of people enjoying 7-Up.
Yeah,
That's
so
the
like
big
they just
drink.
did their twist on fun drinks since we can't have coffee, since we can't
Huh.
have like alcohol things.
That makes sense.
So just do soda. Yeah, and there's like lines and stuff. Yeah,
That's
there's
interesting.
soda
So
and
because
stuff.
they don't have coffee, they start selling soda at 7 a.m. Because you know what? Because the reality of it is, people are they're gonna consume what they want to consume.
What's wrong with the
There's not a
coffee?
rule that
It's
people
not
have not.
caffeine.
It's the same.
I think it's the
I think
caffeine.
It's the
I think it's
caffeine.
like
People
the
are
Then what
working.
about the
do it,
caffeine
like-
in soda?
You know, because you know how it is. Everybody
I don't know.
picks their battles,
It's like
and
the
they all want to
Shabbos
work around.
Goy, isn't it?
Yeah, baby.
There's a thing. Jews aren't supposed to do any work on the Sabbath.
Yeah,
Saturday.
us too.
Only
So they-
super
Oh, well,
observant
So they
Jews.
hire.
But it's not just no work. It's you cannot connect a circuit. You can't
Or
like
turn on your
hit a
light.
button on an
Okay.
elevator, turn a TV or a light switch on and off.
So you can
So
hire
people
a
will hire.
Gentile
Yeah.
to come to their home and do cooking, turn things on and off.
I really don't think that was God's intention. You know.
No.
That said, if you
Did
go
you
to the
guys know?
hospital, no,
Oh,
we don't.
okay.
None of
We're
us
we're
are.
not serious.
Oh,
Yeah, none
We're
of us
like- We're like Seinfeldians.
But do me a
Yeah.
favor on your way out. Would you That'd be nice.
Like in our local hospital, there is a Sabbath elevator
Oh,
that, yeah, and it runs constantly and it goes to every floor and it allows you to step in and not hit any buttons and you could
Yeah.
still get to your thing.
when I was in Israel,
So typical
We
of
were
us
there
not
on-
wanting to take the
we
stairs.
were there on a weekend, and I'm sitting there at every floor, and I'm looking for some kid so I can smack him for pushing.
Because
all
you
the
thought somebody hit
buttons.
all the buttons.
And then the guy said, "This is the Sabbath." So
You know, a
it
lot
stopped
of
every-
I don't know what it does, but a lot of like nicer appliances I've noticed will have a Sabbath mode
Really?
in the menu. Yeah.
Those are really nice.
And it'll run it on Saturday.
Mila is a brand that will have.
Yeah, that's a really, it's an
Wow.
$1,800 toaster.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, I hadn't either.
It's so very inclusive.
I think we've said it all.
We
This is
have.
really good. I'm
Yeah,
so
this
glad
is-
that you were able to make it in. And
Hey, can I ask her one question?
yeah, no,
Ask
keep
Ken,
going if
whatever
you
you
got one.
Think
Oh
that
boy.
Oswald was the sole
Oh my God.
killer of President Kennedy?
Oh, I don't know. I honestly haven't even done research on that. So
We
I
have,
don't
we have a
know.
running thing going that it may be that the Kennedy assassination could finally be
I
retired
just want to see what people.
as a topic that in your generation and younger,
Uh,
it's just not something you ever think
Would
of.
you
Okay.
like?
Since you've gone there, are you a Swiftie?
I'm not a Swiftie.
Okay, well, it doesn't matter. You live in Kansas City.
Uh-huh.
You see our billboards and our ads and
Yeah, I
stuff.
There you go.
Taylor Swift, who spends some time here. Do you think she knows who we are?
Ah,
Do you think
yes.
she's ever seen
I'm
our
sure
podcast?
she's seen the
Don't you think?
Because I've seen them. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's where I'm gonna go for a
Taylor
podcast.
Swift.
Did you ever see the one with the little dog?
No, I
It's
just see
brand
the one
new.
with. Is it your face?
It is his face.
Yeah, his dog.
Okay, so I've seen those ones.
Tay, if you're watching, just comment yes. Just so we know we've seen it. And Travis, we'll take you too. One of you just comment yes. You will make my children's lives. Please. I'm asking nicely, please.
Do you believe in any conspiracy theory?
UFOs?
Like the moon landing, I think that was fake.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh,
we gotta-
take
Bingo!
Wait, let me say
Bingo!
this. I have one. I have
cut all
one.
that stuff.
Wait,
about
I have one question that I asked everybody.
Oh, no.
Everybody who claims that the moon landing was fake. I have one question. If the moon landing was fake, why did we make 6 more successful missions to the moon?
Did we?
Why weren't
Like-
they all fake?
Well, that's my point. Is if we were lucky enough to have faked one landing, why would we have risked discovery by faking 6 other trips to the moon, where we landed on the moon and went through it?
You
and
Double down.
We did it
Because
once.
I'm
Oh,
just
wait,
saying,
let her
like,
talk.
we've had 7 missions total where we've
Wait.
successfully landed on the moon. Most people who say the first one was fake, that were the ones that say it was fake, never have a good answer to the other 6.
Well, wait. What's your
answer?
Why do you think
Oh, goodness.
it was fake?
I think because this is gonna be such a lame answer. So when I was first investigating it,
Oh, you investigated.
well, not like so much, but like YouTube investigation.
okay.
But when I was looking at those videos, I think the first one was fake. I don't think that the first one was real. I don't know about the rest of them because I know that
go
we're
ahead.
like,
Tell me why you thought.
there was like footage, like they were showing like air with the flag, and I'm
Yeah.
like, well, there's no oxygen up there, so how was that like a thing?
Here's what got me. And I would say, and you both know this, I'm like 98% sure we went to the moon, but not 100.
Okay.
But one thing that really got me is I remember, I think it was when George Bush was president, W, his son, and there was talk of going back to the moon, and they're like, all of everything we knew was destroyed or lost. We have no information about how we ever got there. All of it is gone. We are starting from scratch. And that just sounded very difficult to believe that every piece of information that we had, just somebody lost it. Because I would think that'd be somewhat important.
Yeah.
You know, I would have kept it. If it were mine, it'll still be in a box in my basement.
Was it just the pictures that made you?
There's a
I
video.
mean, there was like a couple of things,
Give me
but
a
like
few.
right now, I couldn't even tell you. Yeah, no.
There are
But
videos that go around that have a series of things that
And-
make it look.
and they might be biased, so I fell into the trap.
How about
but,
flat Earth?
But you don't believe-
I wouldn't say that
That's okay. You're
Yeah.
not sure.
Yeah,
You're
I would
not
say more.
sure.
I'm not sure.
Not-
Are you a flat
You're an
earther?
agnostic.
No, I'm not a
Okay.
like. Yeah, I'm not. But I do like look at those. Like I like those videos. I think those topics are very
Bigfoot?
interesting. Bigfoot, I don't know. I'm still kind of like I don't know about that. 9/11. I'm kind of more aiming towards like it was staged.
I will say this about 9/11. And every major event like that, we don't know everything.
Yeah.
I think that there is certainly stuff that happened that we do not know that I think probably the reasons we don't know is because people would be very upset about it.
Yeah.
Do I think the whole thing was a hoax? I don't. I lived in New York City at the time, and I saw enough of the impact on it. I walked past an airplane engine on the ground. I mean, something bad happened. Now,
No, for sure.
the Pentagon, I mean, when you see those videos, some of it's very convincing, but also, you know, it's like, what was it? Oh, no, never mind. It wasn't you. It was somebody else. But you know, sometimes when you see these things that are just wild coincidences, that how could this ever possibly have happened? I think there are things in major events where it's like the unusual happens. I mean, 9/11 in and of itself is unusual, to say the least. And I think just you can never predict how things are going to land or how things are going to burn or how things are going to collapse. And could it have been a government conspiracy? Sure. I mean, I don't say it's not a government conspiracy because I don't think that the government would do that. But I also think that some major things like that, I mean, you I'm sure in your life have experienced situations where you confided in somebody and somebody told a secret or whatever. Now imagine something like 9/11. How are all of those people going to keep a secret and not, it just, that's the hard thing
Yeah.
is keeping it as an inside job just seems impossible.
Yeah, I definitely think like the calls were real, the injuries were real, and things like that. I have a question for you guys.
Go ahead.
I don't want to get into like politics, but I want to know like, do you guys like trust the government?
16.
I don't trust the current government. No, how can you?
Well,
Like, I think, and what I mean by that is like about them telling. I don't even know how to word the question, but like, do you think that they hide stuff from us?
of course they do. Of course they do.
A lot of time, I think, for good reasons.
Yeah, I think they have to.
Here's Jen. She has. Did you get the Rolex watch? We present a little gift.
Oh.
Thank you for being.
How about you? You think they hide
What?
stuff from us?
Oh yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
they do.
I think
Of
they
course.
do.
They have to.
They admitted that, and a lot of time, they.
That's
did.
right. And that's why you asked the JFK question, because,
Yeah.
No, I was
listen,
just nosy.
not,
I didn't want her to leave.
but we don't even have to guess about that, because there are enough things in history where the government has done
Yeah.
evil things, terrible things, and decades later acknowledge that they did it when they previously
Yeah,
denied
so
it. I mean,
they-
there are a lot of things like
Yeah,
that.
I just wonder, like, to what extent. I'm always just so curious as to the extent, like, the elites and stuff like that, like those type of
Like the
things. or,
Illuminati?
yeah, like things like that, or like I
Well-
don't know, like the extent. I'm just always so curious about that, but they definitely like hide things.
That's the problem. And I talk to my kids about this all the time. The problem with trust is once you break it even in a little way, then everything's
Yeah,
up
that's very
for
true.
debate, And so once the government has done this in the past, it's but now you're telling me the truth? Why should I believe that?
Yeah.
And so I think trust is a fairly absolute thing. If you lie to me, you're a liar.
Yeah.
That's why you don't ever.
You didn't lie to me,
What
did
you
you?
want to do when it comes to trust, and I follow this and I preach this to people. You don't want to trust a person's veracity, right? You don't want to trust their honesty. What you want to trust is their judgment. Like that's the more important thing to trust, because if you can trust somebody's judgment, you can make allowances for the fact that within their good judgment, they have the ability to know when to share the full story, when to share a partial story, and when not to share the story at all, because they're doing something bigger that's in everyone's best interest.
Nonsense.
To me, but that's what you want to trust. You want
No.
to trust judgment.
Okay, guys.
You do not want to trust veracity.
No.
Everybody lies.
No, they don't.
No, they do. Everybody lies.
Yeah, I guess in
I
a
think
white
everybody
lie.
lies.
No, everybody lies, and it's more than
Wait,
just a
we're
white
rolling
lie.
over.
But that's not what trust should be.
We're
Yeah.
rolling over into the Bonnet Group and
Our
preacher.
producer is rolling us up. She started.
Hey, listen, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
No,
This was
thank
really
you.
fun
Yeah,
talking to
we
you.
hope you survived it okay
No,
and
I
had a
did.
good
I
time.
really enjoyed this, so thank you.
And try to get you thinking a little. Oh my goodness.
You know what?
Yeah,
It's a first.
But
I don't think we have ever gotten a round of applause from the room
really?
before. No.
there you have it. End it right there. See you next time, folks.
Yeah,
Represent
Yeah,
every
thanks.
minority.
that's a wrap. All right.
Bye, Saga.